TCA.
And TCA are on the blue side, and GLB blue are on the red side.
Despite their names.
Despite their names. And so Callista, Lulu, Poppy, again, pretty solid standard bans.
Yep.
Corki, Lysandra, and Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate probably specifically against Hayden Toon, otherwise generally you don't tend to see that as a ban. Lysandra, I like it though. It has been proved pretty influential in some of the games that we've seen so far. I think it's been in one game.
Yeah.
We are going to see Braum here for GLB Blue, and as statistics would prove, a pretty good pick if you want to win the game.
Yeah. 100% of UK Premiership games so far this season have had, or 100% of victories have had Braum in the lineup. So there you go. Fun fact for you guys.
And I think the 0 AD carry deaths ties in with the fact that you get Braum.
Yeah, I think that might be a bit of a trend there. But GLB Blue, so they've locked in the Braum. They've 80% of the legwork is done now.
Yes.
The other 20% is just actually playing it.
Exactly.
Look, they've got the Braum, so they're in safe hands.
Let's have a look at the current lineups. The current lineups of champions then. It's Gangplank, Nidalee, Braum, and Malphite here on the side of GLB Blue. And that is probably going to be there for a Malphite. Gangplank mid. I was just almost for some reason couldn't get my words out.
I don't know if you've noticed, but we've been having server issues. It's knocked me and Kiernan a little bit off of our stride. But we're going to see a Vladimir and a Zed locked in, so two relatively unconventional picks.
Well, you say that, but
Zed less much.
We haven't talked about the new item yet at all because we haven't seen anyone build it.
That's
now,
true.
it basically is a mini death mark because it gives you a time period where you do damage and then you get a sort of an extra damage plus some percentage of the enemy's missing health. So it acts like a mini death mark. So combine that with the real death mark, and you
double death mark.
You can double death mark people basically, and it's very scary, especially when you manage to take someone down to very low life, like Zed can do. Because the lower life you are with this new item, the more impact it has. It deals 25% damage, 25% of your missing health is extra damage. I think it's called like Nightfall or something like that, where the actual effect is called Nightfall, and that's exactly what happens when you get marked by it. You go to sleep. It's very, very cool item, but it's very limited in its uses. It's
well, killing.
Yes, killing. But it's not for everybody. You know, it's only for those kind of champions that can put out a significant proportion of damage in small periods of time.
Yeah.
So
it's basically an assassin item.
It's an assassin. It's an AD assassin item, and Zed probably makes the most use out of it. Talon, yes, also makes good use of it. But Zed is one of those champions that synergizes with the new item pretty well. In fact, it was probably designed with Zed in mind.
Yeah.
Or all AD.
It is one of his abilities, essentially. So.
Because he is, you know, probably the foremost picked AD assassin that we generally tend to see in League of Legends. So, compositions have been locked in.
They have indeed.
It is Vladimir, Elise, Zed, Lucian, and Alistair.
Yeah,
on the side of TCA.
Yeah, TCA are on our blue side, not on our red side. We will get that fixed for you guys shortly, but it is going to be, GLB on the red side. They've locked in the Malphite, Nidalee, Gangplank, Tristana, and Braum. So
I guess talking a little bit about these compositions, Vladimir, you know, does work well in a teamfight scenario, but looking at the composition that TCA brought to the forefront, I imagine he's probably going to be split pushing most of the game. You may even see a lane swap here because Vladimir absolutely dumpsters Malphite. It's one of the champions that Malphite just cannot do anything about. You know, Vladimir even has that pool in his kit to just dodge the Malphite ultimate should he need it. So having Vladimir up against the Malphite, there is no way in hell you're going to want to send that into a 1v1.
If you can help it.
If you can help it, exactly. You may see a double lane swap. We've seen that sometimes that both teams lane swap, anticipating the lane swap and all that kind of thing. But yeah, and Malphite does better in a 2 versus 1 than Vladimir does, especially when it comes to turret dives. He just has that shield. He just can soak a little bit more damage up. He's generally a little bit more resilient than Vladimir. Vladimir obviously gets the heal, but it's not that strong in the early portion of the game. Really needs that Hextech Revolver before he starts to sustain in lane easily. Going to be Loza on the Gangplank mid, taking the Exhaust, which I think is a very sensible decision.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that matchup. But when you look at the composition from TCA, very pick orientated, smaller skirmishes. You'll likely have a 1-3-1 here. Vladimir maybe in one lane, Zed in the other, and then you have 3 in the mid lane, just hoping you can disengage with the Alistair versus the Malphite.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine we'll be seeing a full-on team fight here unless they get ahead, because they just don't do particularly well. You know, you have the ability to cancel someone out with Zed. You have the ability to do team-wide damage with the Vladimir, but probably a little bit more profitable to go into that split push.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not 100% sure on this. Don't quote me on this, but I think Malphite has lost every game so far today. It's always felt like he's been on the back foot at least.
I think you could be right. I think every game that Malphite's been in, he definitely lost the last one.
Yeah,
he definitely lost.
Definitely lost the Renegades game.
Definitely lost the Renegades game. I'm not. Was he picked in the first game between Null and Excel? I'm not entirely sure that he was.
No, because it wasn't. Null didn't have it. That's for sure.
No, and Excel didn't have it. I don't think. I think it might have been banned actually, because it was against Prince Philip. So I'm pretty sure it got banned.
Yes, I think you might be right on that one. So 100% of the games Malphite's been picked in, he has lost. So he must be an awful champion. Should never pick Malphite. That's a lie. He's really good right now. But we'll see if Eruptor is going to be able to break the trend up against this Vladimir. Certainly not a favourable matchup.
No, like I said, likely going to be seeking the lane swap here. When you look at the composition from GLB, they've got a pretty decent siege in that sense that Tristana makes a siege composition by herself. Gangplank is very good at sieging. He can Gangplank is very good at sieging. He can lock people off turrets with those barrels.
Yep. And
also then they can force, if they get stuck in a 1-3-1, they can force with the Malphite should they need to. So quite like the composition coming out from GLB here. I have had confirmation from Raisins that they are in game. So it's worked.
Yes. EU West
praise the EU West gods, because it has managed to work out for the best.
Praise Rito. We are going into game. We're currently on the load screen, and I was just sat there like, come on. But it is going to work for us this time. And we are on to Summoner's Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hit the map for this 4th quarterfinal of the day. It's TCA, and they're going to be up against GLB Blue. Let's hit the map.
Here we go. So we'll see very quickly if we're going to see a lane swap from either side. Oh. Just as they move through. I imagine the guys from TCA will be looking to spot this out if that is the case. They don't want to have Fearless put up into a 2 versus 1. If they go for the 1 versus 1, there has to be a plan here, because Eruptor will not be able to survive in that lane for long unless he receives some serious pressure from the jungle. And that'll be, I think, a poor decision, because I really think that this game will be decided through the mid lane matchup, whether Hayton can get ahead on the Zed, whether Loza has a good game on the Gangplank.
Yeah, we are going to see another Nidalee locked in, which, correct me if I'm wrong, currently has a 100% win ratio.
Nidalee, I think you're right, yeah.
I think that's correct. I'm not 100% sure, but we are also seeing our first Elise that has been banned in every other game. So we'll see if PJ Caesar is going to be able to ruin that win rate of Solzy on the Nidalee, or just of Nidalee in general, rather than Solzy specifically. We'll see how this one's going to pan out. So minions have spawned and we're jumping straight into game.
So no lane swap. No lane swap whatsoever, and neither team actually even looked for the lane swap.
Not even trying.
Not even trying. So they are actually just going to have Malphite in that top lane versus the Vladimir. I imagine very early magic resist coming out from Malphite. I do feel like that will kind of cripple his mid-game build, because he will probably likely need the armor more so, just because when they're looking to fight, he's really going to be receiving a lot of damage from both Lucian and Zed. So I think I'm not totally keen on keeping this into a 1 versus 1. Erector is going to have to be super careful here.
He's just an incredibly brave player as well. He has no fear. Much like his opponent Fearless, in fact. Neither of them having any fear. But we are going to see a little bit of trading back and forth in all of the lanes, but nothing too crazy. As I say that, though, the level 2 is going to be hit by Raisins and Giblet, but they're not going to be able to do too much with that one. They are going to be able to get a good trade across, and with the sustain sort of in their favour as well, they're going to be very happy with that little power spike.
They are indeed. They haven't actually hit level 2 yet, which makes me wonder what happened to the Gromp if they didn't hit level 2 that quickly. Feel like they took a lot of minions there. But they're now level 2. They managed to survive that level 2 power spike of Alistair and Lucian and get through it fairly easily. Ereptor, he's just farming up here. Just taking a lot of damage. You see there exactly why Malphite struggles versus the Vladimir.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's just going to get worse and worse for him the longer this lane goes on. Unless he somehow manages to get some early gold in his pockets, it's just going to be really difficult for him. But PJ Cesar is in a little bit of trouble here. Soulzy is going for the 1v1, dodges the cocoon, the repel comes out, but I don't think that's going to be enough to save him. Raisins is on the scene though, the flash has come out, red buff is ticking, one more auto, will finish it, but there's the first blood, finally comes across. Both junglers now down, but Heitung is in a whole lot of trouble. That's the bomb, and that's the last auto attack. Lemonite is on the case, and now Raisins is going to be the next target. He's going to go down as the double kill comes on to the AD carry of the red team.
Yeah, Nidalee is one of the best dueling junglers in the game. And Cesar, unfortunately, did the only thing that you need not to do when you're trying to duel Nidalee and get hit by one of her abilities, which will mark you, because that's where the real damage starts to come from. Brilliant start for GLB here. They have got probably the perfect start for their Tristana, double buffs, double kill. And Soulzy picks up a kill and 2 assists too, so he's going to start to ramp up in that jungle, exactly what Nidalee needs, a bit of early gold. Yeah. And just honestly, the earlier game collapse was just really, really good. And you see how useful Braum is in every situation. Managed to stun up every single member that died, received a full 4-stack stun from the Braum. So.
Yeah. It really, really well played by GLB. And really good reaction from GLB. That's the key thing here, is the fact that they were aware that their jungler is in trouble and go and help as a team. And that's something kind of... We've been saying how this season is going to be much higher level of play. That is proof of that. We had games in last season where we didn't really see that kind of team play coming out. And now we're just in the promotions and we're already seeing that kind of thing. So you can see that clearly this season is going to be a season to watch. And we'll see whether GLB are going to be in this season. As let's remember, we are in our promotions. If you've only just joined us, this is the tournament leading into the major season. Hey, look at Eruptor just kind of being bullied under tower here. Does have his jungler nearby. Soulzy looking for something, but not really going to be able to find much of a gap to get onto. Vladimir does have that pool available. Yeah,
and Vladimir now going to back off. Pushed Ereptor in, going to allow Ereptor some time to farm up under his own turret. And he's actually had a fairly decent time of it. It's not at this point that Vladimir starts to really hurt Ereptor. It's once he gets some cooldown reduction, once he's able to spam that Q, every 3 to 4 seconds. Between levels, I'd say 7 and 9 is when you're going to really start seeing the hurt come out from Vladimir, because he could just consistently poke Ereptor at that point. Right now, there is enough time in between the rotations from Vladimir that Ereptor manages to build up a shield once more. So at this point in the lane, it's not too hard for Vladimir, for Malphite to stay against Vladimir. It's just only when we see some cooldown reduction come through that it'll be the real problem to start to show.
Yeah, well, we are going to see Ereptor heading back to base now. We'll see what he can afford. Does have 1,200 gold, so maybe we'll go for that early Spectre's Cowl to try and just deal with the poke that will be coming out from Fearless. Nice little barrel there onto Heitung from Loza. Going to get a nice little chunk of damage down, but nothing too crazy, and Heitung in the end going to be able to just trade that back.
Yeah, and TCA can't even defend their ping in the Tri-Brush area, as Lemon Knight and Xyle just that much stronger at this point in time, and it's allowed Soulzy the chance to wander through into the enemy jungle. Here comes a teleport. They're going for a dive, potentially.
They are indeed. Soulzy is already here. That's going to be the jump on in. Xyle tanking up this tower, which is the perfect target. And Raisins, he's got nowhere to go. Fearless has jumped in, but Soulzy ended up tanking the tower in the end. Fearless now quite low on this one. And actually, we've got Lemon Knight with a beautiful buster shot. That's going to pick up the kill for him. And now they're looking for more, as PJ says they're trying to do what he can, but he's going to get locked up. Lemon Knight can jump in for the final auto attack if he wants to. Eruptor tanking the tower here. Needs to get out of there, though. And he will be able to walk away from the last shot. Xyle picks up the kill in the end, and it's all started to fall apart very early for TCA.
Yeah, GLB just playing the map like gods here. And Lemon Knight actually hit 6 during that engage, so had the buster shot available to take out the Vladimir here. I don't think the Vladimir's teleport continuation was necessarily the right idea. I think at that point it was just worth leaving it and pushing the top lane. Now he loses both pressure in the top lane and his life, giving up some more free gold over to both Soulzy and Lemon Knight. Really great play from GLB so far. They're playing this incredibly well, and comboing with the Gangplank ultimate too just makes that map presence just huge from GLB.
Yeah, it really does. Loza, with good map awareness to know to use that ultimate at the right time. It's going to take a little bit of damage, but immediately trades that back with the parlay. He's already got his sheen for that one, so that's going to start to chunk people out a little bit. Soulsy, ooh, Spiderling's blocking that javelin there, so not quite going to be able to get onto Caesar again. But Caesar, so far, really not having the game of his life so far. He's kind of falling behind, not just in kills, not just in assists, but CS as well. And now Soulsy is looking for more. Caesar kind of stuck in a really awkward situation.
Yeah, and I was talking to Raisins before the game, and he said, watch out for our jungler, because this guy is basically Bjergsen of the jungle. I think he's been having a tough game so far. He's definitely not had the chance to show what he's got and bring to the table, because unfortunately, due to a very early engage that went wrong, Nidalee has just been running away with it, as Raisins, not yet level 6, I believe, still level 5, bit keen to stay away. But oh my god, Lemon Knight
in trouble. Lemon Knight going a little bit deep for this one, all on his own. Raisins trying to finish this one off. He's used that Ignite. Buster Shot is going to knock Raisins away. He's not level 6 just yet, so won't have that ultimate. Flash forward from Lemon Knight. He can't quite finish the kill, and he's going to go down.
No.
Giblet with a nice little last auto attack to finish that one off. Xyle tanks the cocoon. Will be able to walk away, but Lemon Knight just biting off way more than he can shoot.
Super aggressive from Lemon Knight there. Overextension straight into that bot lane. In between the two towers. I think he was very, very hungry for the kill onto Giblet, but unfortunately just took too much damage. The Ignite came down onto him as well. Just, yeah, crazy overextension. They weren't able to pick up the kill onto Raisins either, because actually Soulsy missed his spear, so he wasn't able to get that execution potential, and it gives a bit of much needed gold back over to the pockets of Giblet, who's now starting to move ahead in terms of CS as well, just having that singular CS advantage, which is probably more than he can ask for given the score of his opposing number.
Soulsy is just giving TCA a run for their money right now. He is absolutely everywhere. That's going to be a nice ultimate coming down. The spear actually landed onto Giblet.
Oh, Soulsy.
Soulsy, though, gets caught up by the cocoon under tower. That's going to be a nice extra kill onto Giblet. I don't know whether it's Giblet or Giblet. I keep on swapping between the two. But so far, he's managed to grab himself 2 kills.
Loza.
Both of them have been kind of because of overextension. Loza is going to have the death by the Ignite finishes him. The Shuriken would have if not. Heytung, I missed that one unfortunately, but Heytung is going to be able to pick up the solo kill.
So immediately we're starting to see things turn around now from a very shaky early game from TCA. And actually in no small part, it's due to the mistakes of GLB. Soulsy just far too aggressive here on that bot lane side. They are going to be able to pick up the bot lane turret for their troubles, but yeah, Soulsy had the advantage, going way too deep, you know, at the moment. He doesn't need to be going that deep. He's ahead, but he's not that far ahead, Munchables.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, right now, it feels like GLB are kind of throwing their lead somewhat. They were about, what, 3,000 gold ahead, and that's now down to 2,000. They do still have the lead at this point. They just need to be careful with this one, because they can't really afford to go too aggressive, I guess, especially against champions like Lucian, who realistically is just stronger at this stage in the game than a Tristana is. So you can't overextend too much, and especially when you've already fed him 2 kills now, you're not actually that much further ahead that you can just walk under their tower.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, he wasn't anticipating PJ Caesar turning up with that cocoon. Unable to get the execute. It's actually pretty difficult to get the execute onto Lucian, who hasn't already used his dash, because Lucian was able to just dash away there as he went for the takedown. Loza, well, despite losing that mid lane trade, actually not having a too bad a time, or has to use those oranges to get away from the cocoon right there.
Yeah,
Ghostblade
was K.
Ghostblade already finished for Zed.
Soulsy
again.
He keeps on getting caught out. I mean, the Soulsy seems to be the kind of player where you play super aggressive no matter what. And sometimes that'll work out really well. Sometimes you'll start to snowball. Other times it'll really just mean you end up getting caught over and over again. Speaking of getting caught, Lemon now is not in the best spot he's ever been in. Gonna use that rocket jump, but Raisins is there. Nice buster shot on their headshot. On the headbutt even. That is gonna keep him safe. Very nice ultimate coming out there.
Yeah, that was a super, super buster shot right there. from Lemon Knight immediately.
Bear in mind that's got a channel time as well.
Yeah, very well timed and able to keep him safe.
Oh.
Loza again, probably going to go down to the death mark. No.
Just survives it.
Just survives it. Almost taken down to the shurikens, and Haetung is starting to flex his muscles in the mid lane. I don't think he used Ghostblade active there.
No.
He potentially could have got the kill with the Ghostblade active. And this is something that I've heard from a couple of players who play Zed a lot. They say, oh, we do like the new item, but as a first item, Ghostblade is just better. It just offers so many really awesome stats for the early portion of the game. As Solzy, not distraught by...
He's like, okay, I've been caught out a few times. I don't care. This is my blue buff. I'll just pretend that I'm 7-0-0 right now and just do whatever I want. And like, there's no reaction either coming out from the enemy team. TCA just kind of let him do it.
I don't think they were there close enough in time. You saw how quickly he managed to burst that blue buff down.
Yeah.
And he's starting to farm up a storm as well. 20 almost CS advantage in the mid lane for Solzy. Mid lane jungle, in the jungle for Solzy. So he's going to start working towards getting some flat AP items, starting to be a real terror on that champion. Loza having a bit of a difficult time. You see the power spikes of Zed and Gangplank are at very different stages of the game. So this is the period of time now where Zed is going to be a real terror, and Gangplank's just going to have to weather the storm, to say the least. Yeah,
I feel like there could be quite a good opportunity here for a counter gank in the mid lane. We've seen Haetung go for 2 all-ins 1v1 up against Loza and actually go underneath the tower. Yeah, like, should you just hang around there if you're Solzy? You could pretty comfortably pick up a free kill there.
Solzy is running through the enemy jungle with no idea whether it's warded or not, as Haetung is now the target. Goes on to Solzy.
Yeah, it does indeed. The exhaust is going to deny the deathmark damage though, and Haetung is going to go down. Solzy's been found though, and Cesar manages to find one for himself. Now Raisins is going to try and get away. That unbreakable will keep him alive. In the meantime, Lemon Knight has just dived behind the enemy team, picks up a kill on the AD carry, and then hops on out again.
Again, nice move by Solzy, started the team fight right off there. Haetung blew that death mark very early onto Solzy when he saw that teleport coming through. Maybe would have been more productive to try and jump back towards the tower with that shadow, but was not the case. Unfortunately, lose a team fight there. GLB Blue pushing that advantage again, turning the screw, but in the meantime, Fearless in that top lane, slowly, methodically pushing it down, and this is what I imagine we'll see from him for the most of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that will slowly but surely keep them at least close to even in gold. They are just over 2,000 behind currently. Dragon going to be spawning in just 2 minutes' time, and we'll see whether that's going to force a fight for these guys. So far, the first Dragon went over to GLB Blue. We'll see if they're going to be able to turn that into a second one as well, or whether TCA are going to be able to even things up on this one. So far, 15 minutes into the game, we've typically seen much bigger leads at this stage today.
Look at Solzy, Fearless in the enemy jungle again. Not even bothered about trying to sweep the wards. Has just got...
No, Fearless is back at base, look.
I see what you did there. He has to be careful, though, as a flush cocoon.
Yeah, so again, the over-aggression coming out from Solzy and immediately gets punished this time. That is going to be the double buff going back over to Cesar. So even that blue buff that he stole earlier is now back in the hands of the blue team again.
So Solzy is going into the enemy jungle, taking those buffs away, but he's not putting down vision of his own, and he's not trying to sweep out any potential vision that the enemy team has, because you can see that TCA have caught on to Solzy's tricks, and they are just putting very defensive wards up just to spy him out. And Solzy is walking through the enemy jungle like he is completely invisible.
Yeah.
But obviously he's not.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the way he's playing is very much a high risk, high reward strategy. So like, if it works, it's great. You're going to get loads on the enemy jungler, but the majority of the time that's not going to work unless you kind of set it up for yourself. And he's not really been doing that setup stage, kind of just been trying to cash in on it. And you can see that in his scoreline that's starting to not look all too great right now.
No, he's definitely starting to head far too many deaths down Death Valley Road. He's at 6 now. Most of those from being caught out in or around the enemy jungle. I like that you can be this aggressive on Nidalee, but you need to do it with some sensibility in mind too, because you know, you can't wander into the enemy jungle without having a clue if you're being spotted or not, without any support from your team either, first and foremost. They do get the second dragon in the game, though.
Yeah.
And they're just going to switch round. They've realised that Vladimir likely unable to pick up too much more in that top lane. He's now going to head down towards that bot lane and split push forevermore again.
Hating, waiting for someone to rotate up to this top lane. He's decided he's just going to go and clear away these minions. Doesn't want to wait forever. But in the meantime, we've got a 4-5 man push coming down the mid lane towards this tier 2. And it looks like they might just be able to take this one for free. Really nice rotation from GLB. And in fact, they're looking for an inhibitor tower. The mid laner Hatung still not coming down. Culling entirely blocked by Xyle there. And look at this tower. It's already half HP. That's going to be the teleport channeled here from Fearless. But it might be too little too late. The tower is going to go down to that bomb, but the fight has kicked off. Eruptor jumping to the backline there, just trying to stay alive right now as Raisin's tanking up so much damage with his ultimate, but he's not going to last forever, and he does go down to Solzy in the end. Giblet trying to do what he can, but Xyle has just blocked so much damage with his second Unbreakable as well. And now this is going to be break time because Hatung has gone for the flank. He's looking for a Eruptor, and he is going to be able to find that first kill. PJ Cesar is going to be tanking up that explosion, and Loza finds the 1v1 against the enemy mid laner. Cesar trying to escape from Solzy, but he's not going to be able to. What a chaotic fight so far. Fearless now gets caught up by the Spears. Solzy does manage to jump onto it, can't quite finish the kill though. Nice flash from Fearless. But this might be the inhibitor. I have no idea. Giblet should be able to protect this one.
Raisins is back up as well. It'll be a little bit too risky, but
that felt like a 40-minute fight, not like a 20-minute fight.
Huge swings there. Again, very aggressive play coming out from GLB. This is kind of how their composition is supposed to work. The split push, and you saw there they exploited the fact that Vladimir was in the side lane. You know, Vladimir mostly will probably reactively teleport to a turret. And with Tristana, you are able to take those turrets down super quickly. He did manage to get the teleport off, but by that point in time, a lot of the fighting had already been done. Nice kite back from GLB in that team fight as well. They moved backwards. A lot of flashes had to be burned, but were burnt at the right time.
Yeah.
And then came back through and managed to pick off the odds and ends. A bit like we saw with Renegade Banditos.
Yeah.
Nidalee just coming in and picking up the pieces of the team fights, just picking people off here and there. Loza starting to hit those power spikes now. Got the Triforce, got that BF sword working towards likely going to be an Essence Reaver next as Hatung comes up.
There's a whole lot of minions for you to tank here, Hatung. You don't want to be too aggressive here. Eruptor does tank up a Cocoon in that, but Cesar doesn't have that much damage, and Eruptor's pretty darn tanky at this point. He's going to be quite happy there. Not really taking all that much damage. The barrel comes through. It's not quite going to find its mark there from Loza. And it looks like we see GLB maybe setting up for this Baron, and in fact they're just going to start this one straight away. Solzy going to be trying to take away this Scuttle Crab just to make sure that they have this vision dominance, but the blue team certainly have vision in that pit and are going to be able to be well aware if this gets started. This
is that sort of desperation kind of play that you're looking to make when you're being split push and you know that you can't deal with it. You know, they potentially may even look for a turret dive here on this outer turret. I don't know if TCA are going to be able to defend this. There is no teleport from Vladimir. I don't think they're even going to try. You can see that they are aware of the fact that GLB are looking for a dive of some sort or an engage of some sort. So they are just going to stay well away from that, allow Vladimir to do his thing in the side lane.
Vlad doesn't have TP, so they could just start this Baron. I feel like that has to be the best option right now, or teleport Eruptor to that bottom lane to defend, but you've got to make something happen right now, and looks like Baron is going to be the call. Is this going to be the team fight, though? Do TCA contest this one, and are they able to contest this one? That's the big question right now. Cesar trying to escape, and in fact, TCA have done a very good job. Lemon Knight tanking one too many Baron shots. And look at that, less than 100 HP. That's going to be Fearless looking for that one. He gets the Hemo Plague down if there's no heal or anything.
There is
last second. Yeah, they are going to be able to heal him up. And that is going to keep him alive on that one. He QSS the Hemo Plague as well.
Even without Vladimir here, I wasn't sure that that was the best idea to go for the Baron. You are facing poke from the Shurikens. Lucian can use the culling. You've got a huge amount of AoE CC from the Alistair. They were never going to get away with that. They were merely starting the Baron to look for an engage to force, but they didn't manage to get that Malphite ultimate out. End up losing a turret for their troubles. So TCA well in this one right now, keeping themselves within grasp of the gold lead here. Only about 2.5, 3k at this point in time. Not awful for 22 minutes into the game. There's a lot of room in this game left to play for, and TCA look like they're up for it.
Yeah, like 22 minutes into the game, this is definitely the most even war we've had so far in our promos. 3,000 gold difference, as you say. Dragon is going to be spawning in 1 minute. So far, GLB Blue have had complete Dragon control. They have 2 under their belts already. And we'll see whether they can turn that into 3 for themselves. It'll certainly be a nice little advantage having that extra movement speed, but more importantly, getting closer to that 5-stack Dragon that can just basically win the game on its own if you can force the team fight while you've got those buffs on yourselves.
So this is the 1-3-1 that I thought that TCA were going to go for. When you've got a Zed and a Vladimir, it makes sense to put them in the side lanes, especially when they're in a position where they can 1v1 most challengers. So Zed up there looking to apply pressure, while Solzy is still farming, while Dragon is about to be up in 20 seconds, so I assume he'll start to head down towards this Dragon pit. But, you know, you keep Zed in that top lane, you keep Vladimir in the bot lane, you're applying pressure to the side lanes, and you're forcing then decisions to be made.
Yeah.
Now remember, the only person who can split push effectively against anybody, because he has teleport, is a Reptor, but a Reptor is the only person that is able to engage on this 3 in the mid. So you, again, it's one of those awful decisions that you have to make.
I want to see Solzy just do something crazy and just like try and backdoor the open inhib, maybe just try and make something happen that way. Currently, we can see
that could be an option, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, he can kill it fast. He can definitely do it. Fearless is split pushing in this top lane, and look at this push coming out in the mid lane as well. They've actually decided to rotate up top now and head back towards this Baron area, but Solzy goes in onto Raisins, who does headbutt him away pretty sharpish. But all this time, Fearless, again, still just pushing away in that bottom lane.
Exactly what you expected Vladimir to do. And you see here, GLB, they don't know what to do apart from start Baron, but Baron just isn't going to get them anywhere. They want to do it, but they will lose. They'll potentially lose out. The TP's coming through already.
Yeah, is it going to be cancelled? No, Fearless commits to the culling, to the teleport. So we are going to see a
Pledge
fight,
your life
or at
to the culling.
We're going to maybe see a disengage. They do get the Winter's Bite down onto the Vladimir, but don't think they're going to be able to follow up on that one. Solzy chucking those spears left, right, and centre, but can't quite find his targets.
I think their best idea actually is to go force the inhibitor. Not force the Baron, just try and force the inhibitor. It's open. You know, if they don't react, that's a free inhibitor for you. You're in more of an open range to force the engage with the Malphite. This is just, I think, a far more sensible option than trying to force that Baron, which is way more risky. Because now you're fighting in open terms, you don't have anyone else doing damage to you. Fearless having to get the teleport away, that's quite a big thing. Here comes Zed.
Yeah, Eruptor is going to be able to tank up that death mark pretty happily. Raisins with a 3-man knock-up, and this could be bad news for GLB Blue. They're looking for more, and Giblet flashes forward. He is exhausted though, but Fearless picks up one onto Xyle. That's going to be another kill coming across, and in fact, it might just be a sweep up because Eruptor trying to escape. Solzy is there with him. If he lands a good spear, this could be really, really good if they can get onto Giblet. However, just going to throw the heal onto Eruptor and back away. It's 2 for 2 in the end, but incredibly close fight.
I really didn't think that was going to end up being a 2 for 2. You saw a fantastic knock-up by Raisins in that fight. Locked up all the key members of GLB, but they just don't have anything else to go on top of that. Fearless attempted to get in there with the flash and then also try and use the ultimate, but there just isn't the damage right now to put enough pressure on these kind of combos that Raisins is bringing out. And no one dealt with Loza either. Loza was just able to sit there applying pressure, dealing damage in the middle of that team fight, and he was able to escape scot-free too. So 2 for 2, I'd say that's a lucky escape for GLB. They definitely look like it could have gone a lot worse. And I imagine now we're probably going to see TCA go back to what they know, which is just that split push, but without the teleport threat, knowing that it's down, it is now far more viable to either push mid or go for Baron.
Yeah, absolutely is. Look at this, they're just going to immediately start to clear away any vision control that TCA have, and GLB well in control of this Baron pit area. Raisin's going to tank that spear there, and in fact just replaces his pink ward just around the corner so that it can't be taken. But the Baron's already been started, it's already almost a halfway done in fact, and I don't know if TCA are going to be able to react in time for this one. They've arrived on the scene. Xyle shielding the wrong direction, unfortunately. Raisins is going to be on the scene. This smite comes out, and it is going to go over to GLB. Now Cesar just trying to repel out of the fight. Raisins is going to go down, though. Xyle might just follow as well. The death mark will finish him, but there's a double kill coming through. Lemonite is looking for Giblet. He's looking for Fearless. He's looking for anyone he can find right now, but it looks like GLB have successfully won this fight. That's another kill coming on to Solzy, who is 8, 6, and 5 right now, and they can head towards his mid lane inhibitor.
Oh, it was so risky, I think, for the guys to go for a steal instead of just trying to force a fight in
Yeah.
that Baron pit with the Vladimir. Without the teleport, that was just free reign for the guys from GLB to go and take that Baron. They'll get a free inhibitor off this as well. This is the issue when you run Vladimir in a split push scenario, that if he doesn't have that teleport, you know that he's a very slow champion. He's not going to get to you very quickly, unlike someone like a Quinn split pushing, where you know that she's just going to turn into get carried by Valor and be across the map in about 2 seconds. Vladimir takes a little bit longer. He's got the lucidity boots as well, doesn't have the boots of swiftness, so he'll be moving a little bit more slowly across the map. And this is now going to put a bit of a dent in the works for this 1-3-1, because it's harder to push that mid lane out when you're now going for the 1-3-1 split push.
Yeah, it's...
And I think that previous teleport to stop the Baron, maybe not necessarily needed. You just needed to apply pressure as a 4 while they were tanking Baron. You could have potentially got bottom lane inhibitor off of that if you hadn't teleported previously. You may have given the Baron away, but sometimes it's okay to trade Baron for inhibitor.
Yeah, especially if it's that bottom lane inhibitor as well. That typically gives you a whole lot of pressure on the map, and if it sort of auto pushes that bottom lane, it gives you basically control of the Dragon area.
Yeah, the only issue is if they had given away Baron and they want to continue running a 1-3-1, a Baron minion wave against a 3-member team that's trying to defend, they can't clear waves effectively. Usually when you have a 1-3-1, you need someone that's going to be able to clear the waves or disengage or whatever in that 3. There isn't anyone that can very effectively clear waves.
Yeah.
Apart from the Vladimir and the Zed, I guess. I mean, Vladimir still has to be quite risky when he's trying to clear the waves. The wave clear is pretty poor on the side of TCA. So should they run that 1-3-1 and they'd lost the Baron but got the bot lane inhibitor or something, something along those lines, then it's very risky to leave the 3 alone versus a Baron minion lane, because they can lose a lot off the back of that.
Yeah, they certainly can. And speaking of losing a lot, they might just lose this bottom tier 2. And in fact, just deciding to back away from this one. GLB, they've got the Baron buff, but they don't seem to want to force any pressure, despite being the ones with the Malphite. I feel like they do kind of have an advantage that they sort of should be playing with here.
Yeah, and here comes Fearless. He's able to just split push fairly effectively against the Raptor at this point in time. A Raptor not really providing much of a damage threat. He is just that frontline tank that the team needs. And Fearless actually starting to struggle to push against these Baron minions. It's taking a little bit longer than he would usually anticipate. And they get the next dragon out of it. I believe that's the 4th.
Solzy is going to be in trouble. That's going to be the death mark proccing. And look at the damage. Nice Sonius is going to be able to deny the actual proc on it. So Solzy will be able to survive this one. But again, just kind of going a little bit too deep on his own. Didn't even sweep those wards going in. So was just spotted out straight away. And now be trying to land those spears, very close to landing that on Giblet.
You saw the Nightfall proc as well, so that will be on cooldown for Zed. They're doing a pretty good job here of just defending against the 4 members of GLB Blue. The problem is that you need the Malphite because you need him to engage, but you leave Malphite out and split. You bring Malphite to your team, then you just allow Fearless to split push. They are going to eventually force this turret down and move towards that bot lane inhibitor turret, and all with a Raptor just managing to clear waves in that top lane.
But as well, this is without Baron now. Baron is actually timed out, and they're still just pushing away because of their lead. And look at this bomb from Tristana. That's going to do a nice little chunk to the tower on top of things. And that was just 1 minion wave. That's like, what, 6, 8, or 3/4, I suppose, would be a better way of saying that.
That's why Braum is so good versus Lucian as well. You can just eat that culling, you can protect your minion waves. Because, oh, the combo!
Oh, beautiful flash pulverize coming out from Raisin. Solzy has to flash to the back line of the fight, but I don't know if it's enough. Raisins is going to go down in the end. Fearless teleports to his tower, but a little bit too little too late, I fear. Hemoblade goes on to 4 members, though. Can they turn this into anything? Fearless is in a little bit of trouble. Lemonite jumped way too far forwards, but he's managed to flash and QSS his way to safety. Haytung, though, picks up a double. He's looking for more. Haytung is looking to carry this game all by himself right now. Can't quite finish off the triple, but he managed to take out both carries.
And they got no inhibitor for it either. That was just far too aggressive by Lemon Knight. He basically put himself into a position where he wanted to try and proc the stun on Fearless, but he wasn't needed there. Someone else could have procced that final pick. He could have kept himself nice and safe in the back. He'd already eaten the Hemoplague, so it's taken quite a chunk of damage before that fight even started. And all Haytung had to do, he had both his Nightfall up and his Death Mark, but I think Nightfall just came off cooldown after the fight. And was easily able to burst through that exhaust as well and take out Lemon Knight. Again, a little bit too aggressive with that Tristana, playing a little bit too much like Wild Turtle, unfortunately. And
I think the thing is, he was going for Fearless. He jumped right into the back line, and there was 3 stacks of Winters by on Fearless, but he was still in his pool. So it was kind of like jumped in and then just took damage for 2 seconds before anything else happened.
But he's doing a lot of damage. So Lemon Knight is doing a huge amount of damage. He also does have Mercurial Scimitar now, so he should be able to cleanse the death mark. It wasn't actually the death mark that did the real damage there. It was a couple of...
Haetung just jumped straight back to his shadow that no one was expecting him to jump to, and just managed to finish off. Yeah, it was very good play, and obviously then Haetung managed to rip through that back line. He's had a really good game on this set. 8, 5, and 4, doing huge amounts of damage. Hasn't actually entered that split push role again. He did it for a little bit and then decided to lay off it, because it looks like GLB are very heavily pushing towards going all-out siege, and they don't have many turrets left yet to take. They just got to go and get the free inhibitors in the mid and in the bot lane. I'll tell you what's scary right now is Haetung is heading towards that Sterak's gauge as well, so he's just going to continue to get not only scarier in terms of damage, but also in terms of becoming harder to kill and harder to deal with in general. Fearless tanking up a few shots there. Raisins goes in onto Loza, who flashes straight to the back of the fight. Deathmark is going to go down, but Haetung is just obliterated. And now Giblet, he's found himself in a pretty awful situation. Eruptor just going to zone him away. But look at this CC coming out from Raisins. Giblet trying to escape from this one as Loza is onto Fearless, but look at this. Solzy just doing so much damage. Raisins trying to escape this one, but I don't think he's going to be able to. In the meantime, Fearless trying to survive, but the barrels should be here. They should be able to finish him off. They're going to be able to stack that stun up. Actually, Zyle incredibly low. Does have to kite away from this one. Look at this. They're doing their best to kite away, but he is going to go down in the end. That is going to be the ace, and in the meantime, Solzy is already pushing onto this mid lane inhibitor. There's an open bottom lane inhibitor as well, if they can't end, but there's 20 seconds on the timers. I don't think they'll have time to end here.
Yeah, again, the 5v5 is just worse from the side. When you're talking about no teleports, no time lapse in terms of teams trying to get there. The 5v5, they might actually end. Yeah, that's so true. They've got 10 seconds, 2 seconds on Haetung. Haetung maybe looking for a 1 versus 4 to save the game here.
He's got to make some plays right now. Zyle is going to be the first one to go down, but Deathmark in onto Solzy, but Haetung, he just can't finish them off. Or can he actually? The lifesteal at the last second, he finally goes down. Solzy finishes him, but the rest of his team is up now. Loza is going to drop. It's on like one more hit, and it finally goes down. GLB taking the game by the skin of their teeth right there.
Wow, that was a very explosive finish there for GLB. And like I said, when we said in Champion Select, they should have, teams that have a split push composition, I get really frustrated when I see them try and play the other team at their own game. They come in and look for the 5v5. TCA